Hey guys, what's going on? It's about 1:15 a.m. here, and I am still in the middle of capturing some of the Geminids, and I got some really amazing shots at around 12:30 a.m. and but I did miss a few. I was a little late actually. I should have come here at around 11ish, but I was here at about 12ish, and then I tried to set up my equipment. It's extremely cold out here. I am at the Loveland Pass in Colorado, and it's around at the height of 12,000 feet here at the highest point. And there aren't many cars out here, so it's and there's really no light pollution. This is really the topmost in the surrounding area as possible, and right now I've kept the camera at a direction that Stellarium is asking me to point at. So I did see a couple of shots, so I really hope the meteors shine through right where I am pointing the camera at. It's difficult to kind of try to see whether your shot is okay or not, because every time I want to see whether whatever I'm capturing is right, I have to stop my camera and I have to really make sure I don't disrupt the tripod. Otherwise my time lapse at the end of it, hopefully it will be a good time lapse at the end of it, will hopefully be as smooth as possible as I am expecting it to be. And so the equipment that I'm using is a Nikon Z6 along with a 24 to 70 millimeter f2.8. This is the Z mount, and I've kept it at 24 mm obviously, and I want to capture as wide as possible. And I believe it's on my ISO 3200. I played around about half hour with the settings to make sure what I'm capturing really has a decent picture, or for the time lapse. So it's at 24 mm, it's at 2.8, it's at ISO 3200, and it's at an exposure of 13 seconds. So the Nikon Z6 is a really great camera because it has a built-in intervalometer. Now keep in mind my exposure is 13 seconds, but my interval I have to keep it as 15 seconds because I have to give the camera a couple of seconds to process the picture that it just took. So it's about at 15 seconds interval. So I've basically computed for every 10 seconds of a video, I need about an hour's worth of time to be caught in my camera for a 15-second interval. So I'll give you guys more details about the calculations that I made. So it really depends on your exposure time and your interval essentially, and depending on what frames per second you want the time lapse to be. But I think overall it's pretty late here, and I just had a group that they just left this place, so I'm all alone here. So obviously it's at about a height of, like I said, 14,000 feet, so it is a little scary, but I'm just hoping it's all worth it, and I really get to see my time lapse. And I'm sorry if this quality is less, but I'm recording it with my iPhone 11 Pro on my front camera, and you can see all the gear that I have. I have a pair of North Face gloves. I do have some heating pads in, which are actually really helpful, and I do recommend them. I got it from Target, and it's really cheap. It's like $5 or $10 for like a 10 pair pack. So I'm using like a couple of pairs in my hand gloves, a couple in my feet, like in my boots, and I have attached a heating pad within the wrapped around my lens as well, because it's about minus 18 degrees centigrade here, which is really cold. So I don't want condensation on my camera. So I have made my own DIY, essentially a DIY lens, heating pad, for the lack of a better word. So I've essentially used a socks, and I've cut them, and essentially I've kept the heating pad in the bottom of my lens because the heat travels up, and essentially wrapped around the sock, and that's keeping my lens warm. Hopefully that avoids condensation on my lens. So that's how I'm preventing any kind of moisture or condensation on my lens, and keeping it hopefully warm enough so that it captures some decent pictures. And yep, so that's all, guys. I think I'll be showing you guys my final result, and I really hope it's all worth it. And I'll also be making a composite image of all the meteors that I've captured, hopefully radiating through the center. And to be honest, this is my first actual time lapse of anything astro related, so I'm really excited to share it with you guys. And if you guys want to know how I caught this, the end-to-end tutorial of how I planned this, I obviously used PhotoPills app to plan this, and I also came here today in the afternoon to essentially get a feel of how this place is. So what's really important is you plan your shot well if you want to get these images, and so planning is really important. So I knew exactly where I wanted to start capturing my pictures, the place that I wanted to capture the pictures. So yep, that's all, guys. I hope this was helpful, and if you guys want to know any more in-depth videos of how I captured this, and anything related to astrophotography, I'm starting out too, and I've seen a whole bunch of video tutorials, and I can share all my knowledge with you guys if you want. So please let me know if this is helpful, and here's the time lapse now. Cheers.